All right, welcome to 1 Corinthians 3. I'm feeling better again. Better every day. And let's get into it. Paul starts off with, again, a contrast between, like, as in chapter 2, it was between, like, wisdom and natural. Now he's talking about carnal, which is, again, natural. It means flesh. Um, he's making a contrast between spirituality and carnal, which is flesh again. So natural, spiritual. Same idea, but he's using a different metaphor, if you will. And then babes in Christ is like newborn believers. He's saying, I fed you with milk and not solid food because you're, again, a baby, and babies can't handle solid food. They need milk. Um, Now, it's pretty clear that he's meaning that strife and divisions is the reason he's bringing up carnality here, because he goes right into strife and divisions, behaving like mere men. Now, he uses the example of Paul, Apollos, etc. I would say denominations are the same thing. Like maybe Catholic would be one. You could do there's a bunch of like we have we even divide between like Protestant and Catholic, or then even the Protestants have their own denominations in that, and it's all very confusing, especially to people who are outside the church. A lot of criticism of the church is that people look at it and it's like you guys can't even get your own uh, stuff together, and how can you judge us? Like you guys are, it's a bit of a mess. Everyone's got different beliefs. They all say they're Christian, but they all have different beliefs and different. They don't even seem to get along very well sometimes. So I would say this is the main reason why Paul's making a big deal of it, because it's just not a good example. It's kind of sad that, like for me, the the path I've taken, or the belief that I've decided to hold, is someone else says they believe in Jesus, we're brothers. It's simple as that. I don't. Often I won't even ask them their denomination unless they bring it up, and generally I'll just try to steer clear of the whole. They're not even really there in the spirit. Like, okay, so excuse me. Take this example. If you're looking at natural things, then they're there, sure. But if you're looking at it from a spiritual perspective, as far as God's concerned, all the believers are the church. So if you try to take that perspective in your day to day life, it definitely changes things. And it's hard though, because it's hard to, if you're talking to a non believer, excuse me, it's hard to explain that. People just, like, how do you defend the church when they're doing stuff that is clearly just nonsense and childish? It's hard to. I kind of just sympathize more than anything. Um, Paul goes on and explains that basically there's builders, there's foundation layers. But God is the one who gives the increase, and even the workers, they're only good at what they do because the grace of God is with them to do whatever they're called to do. Now, the foundation is Jesus, and this is a very simple thing that most people understand normally, is that if you have a foundation for a house, you have to build vertically on that foundation. You can't just stray off halfway up. You can't build one level and then have the next level wherever you feel like putting it off to the side. It's not a solid structure. It's going to fall. So some people want to, if the foundation's Jesus, you can't build on the third story. You can't just decide to switch to law, or it all falls apart. Moving on. In the last day, capital D day is like the last day when Jesus returns. It'll be revealed and tested with fire, which work is good and which work is like straw and wood and hay rather than gold and precious stones and silver, which can withstand fire. And Paul talks about excuse me. Paul talks about that even though people are being foolish, they have all kinds of sexual sins and they're going to prostitutes and that in Corinth, and there's all kinds of stuff going on that's not ideal. He still says that they are the temple of God and the Spirit dwells in them. And then here we have, if anyone defiles the temple of God, God will destroy him. And you see a footnote here and it says destroys. And let me just show you in the Greek. Destroy, G5351. G stands for Greek, and then that's the numbered word in the Greek dictionary we have here. I think it's Strong's Greek dictionary. Anyway, and then this is the word where they translated it defile, but it's the exact same word, and it means destroy. I guess they have defile on one of the things, but why would they? It's clearly talking about the same thing, so either they should both be defile or both be destroyed. But then again, it doesn't make sense to say God will defile you. So clearly, I think it's both destroy. I'm just reading this again. Yeah. To ruin, I believe. To spoil. I think destroy is the accurate translation here. Maybe that word even has one or two meanings, but just the fact that they translate it one way here and then one way here is just very strange when it's clearly talking about the same thing. And then again, he says the temple is holy, and then you're the temple. So, holy means set apart, uncommon. So, yeah, we'll move on. That's kind of, if Paul makes some weird, he makes some weird comparisons, but if you notice, he started with grace and ended with grace. I can't fully explain this, but I would say he was talking about, okay, yeah, this does make sense here. So he's talking about the foundation of the building, and he's reiterating that if you're building off the foundation with wood, hay, and straw, I think that's what destroying the temple is. And then, again, don't take this too literally, especially if like you've done this, but you've like realized and you're trying to do better now. The loss that you suffer, he says up here, will be that you might not be as rewarded because your work wasn't good here, but you will still be saved. And if you start now on doing good work, you can get rewarded for that work still. So I would just reiterate not to let things like that scare you too much. If you realize your mistakes, if you did things in ignorance too, God is gracious. Paul's always talking about grace. But I think, again, I think people should try not to get too scared. Like these are in here for like a healthy warning, not to make people feel like it's hopeless and they can never do better and they can never build with gold. and silver and precious stones. That's all things that are built upon Jesus in sound doctrine. Moving on, I could ramble about that forever, but here we have, if anyone seems to be wise in this age, this is talking about worldly wisdom again. For the wisdom of this world, again, worldly wisdom, is foolishness with God. For as it is written, he catches the wise in their own craftiness. And again, the Lord knows the thoughts of the wise, that they are futile. Therefore let no one boast, for all things are yours, whether Paul, Apollos, or Cephas. So this is actually very interesting. If different humans have different teachings that are contrary or non-biblical, that's actually categorized here in wisdom of the world. It's futile. So I think this is what it's saying here. I'm not 100%. And then it ends basically with one love. All are Christ, and Christ is God's. So we're all, this is basically one love. We're all one love. And there was trying to remember what I was gonna. There was another. Oh yeah, when he's talking about everyone is one here, basically in the building process, and God is basically the one, and then other people are working with him. So basically, I think the takeaway from 1 Corinthians 3 is one love, and I would say, avoid deviating from the one. Thank you for listening.